wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, where each and every Thursday, I, your host Joseph, sit down with my best friend Kyle and talk about the latest and greatest in PlayStation. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I just realized, I'm chilly.
Yeah.
I need a blanket or something, but no, I'm great.
I realized.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just I had a cold chill run through my body during the intro. That's weird.
I realized the water didn't go down correctly as I was talking. I just took a sip before we started, and I was dying mid intro. But yeah,
it sounded good to me.
Hey, yeah, you kind of carried yourself through it, so it was pretty good.
I'm a trooper, dude. I'm a trooper. And with that beautiful voice over there is Eric. Eric, where are you from, sir?
So I run a channel called TheBioShockHub. Mainly, I focus, obviously, by the name, on BioShock, the whole series. Backstories, lore, all that good stuff. That's awesome. And I also cover The Last of Us as well, so I'm highly anticipated, The Last of Us 2.
Yeah,
so I can't wait for more news on that game itself.
Of course. So, absolutely. And we found you through our good friend Blaze Knight. So shout out to Blaze Knight. We asked you guys and gals out there on the Trophy Room at Mr. Badbit, go out, find, if you see a creator that you like, give them a shout out. Come over to us. I want to bring more guests on here. I always want to just build that big, beautiful family. So Eric, thank you so much for coming and joining us. And
no problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And today, man, we got some news. A lot of it's about Google Stadia. I swear to God, it's everybody.
You gotta think Stadium.
So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Stadium.
Their new live streaming software, Studio.
Yeah, okay. That, and then we're also going to be talking about some EA access, maybe possibly heading to PSN. We're going to talk about a possible PSVR wireless headset. We got so much awesome stuff, and we have a huge episode. So usually when we talk about what we've been playing, we go on a whole bunch of games, but everybody gets one. So sure. I'm going to start with Eric. You're the guest. What's that one game you've been playing this week?
So as of recent, just a lot of Apex Legends. I don't know what it is about it, but something is so addicting about it. And I tell a lot of my friends this. They're like, well, why do you play it so much? I haven't had this much fun with an online game since MW2.
Ooh, so that's a while, dude.
It's been a really long time since something just kind of sparked that interest. I mean, Fortnite took it for a while, but then they added way too much unnecessary stuff. So it's Apex, it's just gone. Yeah.
The planes were your breaking point? Yeah, I kind of feel that way too.
Well, it wasn't even necessarily the planes. It was more going into Season 5, just the excessive building.
Yeah.
One shot and all of a sudden they build a tower.
Exactly. They build a whole castle. And they're just what the hell is going on? Yeah,
exactly.
I feel you. Yeah, dude, same here. Apex has been, oh my God, just so addicting. We're going to talk about the Battle Pass and Octane in a bit, but what do you feel is the thing that has hooked you into that game? What is the one mechanic that you're oh yeah, I'm hooked?
Really, I love the way that it's it balances fast-paced gameplay with gun-on-gun action. So it's the person with the better reactions usually wins 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
But I was a fan of the Titanfall series before. And I felt that often got overlooked. So for a BR game to come out in the style of Titanfall, I think it just hooked me right away.
Yeah, same here. I love Titanfall. I feel Titanfall 1 and 2 just did not get the love that they deserved. They're so
competing against a Call of Duty or a Battlefield, even Halo and stuff like that still.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It seemed like it couldn't hold up to it.
And it's great that Respawn's found so much success in Apex. It's so great. Kyle, let me ask you something.
What up, man?
I think we've been playing the same game this week.
We have.
Division.
Yeah.
What are you feeling about the Division?
I'm feeling pretty great about it, Joe.
Yeah? What level are you?
Level 8, I think. Not as high as you probably are. I think most people who own the game are. But and my feelings are the same from the beta. I'm loving it. I am hooked. The loot, constant loot, which is great. Getting I am a little picky on the type of guns I'm getting. I feel I'm getting the same type of gun over and over and over again.
That's gonna change soon.
I hope so. A lot of shotguns, a lot of light machine guns, and a lot of hunting rifles. No ARs or anything, which kind of stinks. But I'm loving it. I think it does have some issues, like
What are those issues?
like the texture pop in constantly.
Yeah, it's
like
real bad.
when things are, it's real bad.
Yeah.
But
Is it like Fallout 76 in terms of like the just random stuff that spawns in, or is it more
no way near
just
as bad,
random?
but
not as bad as that. But
I hope. Oh, God.
Today I was playing and I was just running through the streets, and it has like the red indicator of like where the enemies are, and I was looking around, I saw nobody, and then they popped in the screen right in front of my face, and started shooting me immediately. They were invisible.
A bit of a jump scare.
Exactly. So there are
horror.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there is some stuff like that, but I think the overall fun of it, I'm a solo gamer. I don't play a lot of multiplayer, and that was my issue with the first Division. I feel like the story wasn't great to play on your own, and it was more geared for multiplayer stuff. But the Division 2 missions, and if you really get into like the stuff you pick up and the notes and the little videos that you can watch that just really build up what's going on in DC, it's really amazing. And I have no issues playing through this entire game solo, I feel.
Yeah. I've been playing, so I played most of it solo. First off, by the way, if you hear a little bit of echo on my end, that's just me being paranoid. There's a lot of moving going on. My friend's sister just moved in. There's a whole bunch of packages, so it's not soundproofed anymore. I'm just always just so nervous about that, so I apologize. With that, I've been playing this game mostly solo, and I played about like 5 or 6 hours with like Bohotep one day. We just went in
sweet,
hard.
nice.
Yeah, dude, we played from like 10 o'clock to like 2 or 3. Like it was just, we went hard at it. I love this game. It's freaking phenomenal. Yeah. Like it's more Division, and like when you hear people say, "Oh, it's more Division," it's like whatever. But it's more
gameplay. Division after they figured out what was wrong with Division 1.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it wasn't like the first game. It took like a year or two to finally find the formula to make it like a sustainable and good game.
Yep.
Which is why I think I fell in love with this one way faster.
Yeah,
and I'm sticking with it because they learn from their mistakes, and they're. It's like you hop off the train and you're just running.
Yeah.
And you're continuing.
There's always something to do in this game, whether it's the activities, like you have to stop executions, you have to raid certain like bases that they have. It's like typical Ubisoft check the boxes type of gameplay, but
hand in supplies.
Yeah, hand in supplies. It works so well in this game. You're always fighting, you're always doing something different. And the one thing that I have to applaud this game is it has in a shooter, some of the best level design I have ever seen. The level design in this game is crazy because usually when you're playing these looter shooter Destiny-like games, right, you're walking down a hallway and then you enter a room. That's where the fight's going to happen. In Division, it's way more chaotic, where instead of you're just walking into a room and this is where everybody's fighting, you're actually fighting in different sets, different locations. It feels varied. Like, and I know it sounds like super simplified when I say it like this. You're sometimes walking down a rectangle and you have a firefight instead of a dumb square, or fighting in a dome, or you're fighting down a long corridor, and
it's got levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not linear.
It's
like
not
I used to be big into the Destiny franchise, and it, like you said, it seems like you just walk down a corridor and then all of a sudden it's an open room, and then it's like here's the boss, here's like 2 pieces of cover, have fun.
Exactly, and with Division, you can pick where you're going differently. There's always a different tactic to use because the enemy types are varied. Yeah. They all have like the similar structure. Like there's your standard enemies that'll just shoot at you. There's standard enemies that'll run and gun at you. And then there's your brutes. But how they approach it is certain enemies, they'll rush at you with a chainsaw. Like they're just wielding chainsaws at you. There's enemies that will hide in cover, and then they will actually send RC explosive cards.
Which is the most terrifying thing so far for me.
The RCs?
Because I would be hiding behind cover. I don't see whoever that enemy is because he's hidden while he's making the RC car. I don't see the icon for it. And then all of a sudden you hear the wheels.
Yeah.
And you don't know where it is. You automatically get out of the cover and run and try to find it and shoot it before it blows up in your face.
I would just instinctively rage because of the RC car from Call of Duty. It's one of those things that always manages to like find you on a streak, no matter what streak you were on.
Yeah. So like there's always different, there's so many different enemy types. They're so varied. Like the sons of gonna say Sons of Liberty. What are they called in this game? I forget.
Forgotten Sons?
Forgotten Sons or Fallen Sons, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
they'll just run at you with shotguns, and they'll just keep on like hosing you down while while they get support from their back end. Like the AI, though they're pretty dumb, they're not the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. They're pretty capable. I love it. This is fantastic. The only downside is the story's non-existent to me. I'm not. I don't know what's going on. But honestly, I don't care. The loot is there. I'm constantly getting stuff. Every level, I am switching out a new gun or a new piece of gear, and all the guns are different. I'm finding out what play style I like, and it is the marksman rifles are dope.
Yep, so, that's what I use.
Yeah, marksman rifles are the way to go. Anything else?
There's such a satisfying feeling in this one where you see an enemy like running away from you, and you just slowly like try to pan over to catch him, and then once you catch him and you pop him, it's like mwah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
So does it actually like reward you for progressing rather than just giving you like the same thing over and over and over?
Absolutely.
And over?
Absolutely. Okay. They keep on adding new stuff, new abilities, new things to do as you progress through the game. I can't wait to get to the end game. Honestly, I
heard it's nuts.
Yeah.
In terms of like the actual overall loot pool for the end game.
There's so much to do in this game. There's so much to do. And I am just thrilled to see Ubisoft get it. And I am very, very scared for Anthem. That seems very barren in comparison.
Oh, I think that thing was, I don't know. Like a lot of people were hyping it up going into it, but all I saw was EA's version of trying to copy it.
Yeah.
And then with people now like getting their refunds back for the game, I think it's hilarious. Like I don't know if you saw that about what it was doing to people's PS4s.
Yep.
It was actually like bricking the PS4.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
It's been an experience for them for sure. But with that, that's what we've been playing. It's been a whole lot of stuff. We got some insane goobers for you.
Oh boy.
Kyle, the first story on the goober is Google. Wait, I'm going to say it correctly.
Come on, you got this.
Stadia has been announced, a gaming streaming service for Chrome, Android, and TVs. This comes from 9to5 Google. Now, before I say this, I modified this article to give it in bullet points. So this is a little bit of my grammar in there. I apologize.
It's fine. I'm going to read it as such.
Go for it.
Number 1, with Stadia, YouTube watchers can press play now at the end of a video and be brought into the game within 5 seconds. The service provides instant access via button or link, just like any other piece of content on the web. Number 2, Stadia at launch will be available on desktops, laptops, TV, tablets, and phones. Seamless switching allows users to move between all devices and save their state. Additionally, Stadia will support cross-platform play for developers and gamers on other consoles. Number 3, for TVs, Stadia will work via a Chromecast Ultra. Players can use existing controllers, keyboards, and mice. Number 4, Stadia supports 4K at 60 frames per second with HDR and surround sound at launch. Google hopes to get 8K resolution in the future. This is a step up from the 1080p during the Project Stream technical test last October. On the sharing front, Stadia users will be able to share a 4K 60 frame per second stream directly to YouTube. Number 5, a crowd play feature allows watchers to join a game being streamed on YouTube, with creators able to manage the queue. And number 6, the Stadia's controller will have Google Assistant integration, allows users to ask, "How do I beat this level?" right into Stadia without having to use another device to open a YouTube walkthrough.
So, Google announces... Yeah, right? Google announces this new streaming service-ish thing. Walking in on it, I want to know your thoughts. I'm going to start with Eric. You're the guest. What were your thoughts walking into this? In a Twitter post.
Yeah, so... Obviously, I didn't see like their press conference or the live stream, whatever you want to consider it. But reading it, like I'm kind of excited, but I'm still on the fence because this is going to be Google's first attempt at basically anything gaming related.
Okay.
So if it's a success, I kind of fear for the future of Steam.
Okay.
Because they might end up making Steam almost irrelevant, especially because people usually gravitate towards PC games for, the upgraded graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if they can only go up to the 1080p, whereas Stadia has 4K.
Are you cautiously optimistic about Stadia?
Yeah,
walking
like
in
I
onto it?
want to give Google like the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Obviously, they're a multi-billion-dollar company, maybe even trillion-dollar
I
company
don't even know,
at
man.
this point.
They
Yeah,
own the
I don't
world.
even know, basically.
Yeah.
And they obviously see what people like due to owning YouTube. So for like gaming side of things, they know what people want to see. They've like heard a lot of different feedback.
Yeah.
So I think going into it, I want to see Google succeed with this because obviously then I think that would make the other three companies, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, actually step up their game
Okay.
instead of just relying on like the casual 1080p.
Yeah.
I think going into next generation of consoles, whether that be PlayStation 5, whatever the next Xbox is going to be, I don't know.
Yeah.
And with Nintendo, the standard is going to be 4K resolution.
Right. So Kyle, walking in for this event for you,
Yeah.
what are your expectations like? Are they cautiously optimistic like Eric, or what are you thinking walking in?
Yeah, walking into this, I joked about it on this very podcast.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke. I was expecting a Ouya 2, basically.
Okay.
Especially with whatever that mock-up controller was that we saw, which actually isn't what it is, which is great.
Yeah.
But I wasn't thinking very much of it. And then during the stream, I'm very excited for what this is. Everything that they laid out is extremely impressive.
Right.
Like the way that you can stream like almost instantly from just watching an advertisement, you can click play the game, and then you got it. Apparently, if that's how it's going to work, but they did not sell me on why I need it.
So yeah. So for me, walking into this event, I'm ready to see bodies start dropping, guys. I'm ready to see Google just come in, big dick swinging in the wind, and just start going after everybody. And they did, because like Google has this monumentous feat ahead of them. Because what they showed with this is they're going after everybody. Right, they're going after the big three. They're going after the PC market. They're going after even Twitch by trying to make YouTube the center hub where you stream everything, where it's all about the community type of thing. And even in the name Stadium, they want this to be something where they're blending social presence. I can't even say media in with how we play games. That's something super unique. Walking out of it, I have more questions than answers. Mm-hmm. And I think what they showed is pretty cool. And I'm not expecting it to be, I wasn't expecting any games, to be completely honest, or not many games. I wasn't expecting a name or a price for it.
This is at a developer conference, so
This is them talking to the developers. So I wanted to know what this thing is. And I didn't get that sense of like, there are some sites calling this a marketplace. There are some sites calling this a streaming service. Mm-hmm. We don't know exactly what this thing is. And that's what gets me so confused, is that the messaging is a little off on this thing. Mm-hmm. And so with that, I got a question in from one of our lovely viewers, the most famous Seamus I ever met. Yeah.
Before you get to famous Seamus and his excellent question, somebody on Twitter, a friend in the Kind of Funny community, John Conti, at Conti in Stereo, he put his thoughts completely exactly how as I think of them themselves. So I want to read them because I think he did a great job summarizing. Over the years, the power of my gaming devices has become less and less important. It's the experience the games deliver. PC is cool, doesn't have Horizon Zero Dawn. Streaming is great, won't have God of War and The Last of Us. I consider myself a console-neutral gamer, but until anyone can capture that Sony first-party magic, it's going to be hard for another platform to become my primary means of gaming. There's a lot more to the conversation here regarding accessibility, pricing, etc., of course. Take PlayStation out of it. Nintendo and Microsoft have already carved their niche areas of my gaming time. One of them is even working on a similar service. I just can't see where this fits right now. Years down the road, probably different, but we can reevaluate that. I think he hit the nail on the head. Like, this is obviously impressive tech.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
where does it fit in what I game for? I game for my stories. I sound like an old man.
Yeah.
But like I game for my experiences on Sony, the incredible first party experiences. I game on my Switch on the go because of the indies. What is the Google Stadia going to give to me that's different?
That's a
Yeah,
great
I can
question.
agree with that. I can agree with that. Like the way he put that.
Yeah,
It was
John,
so articulate in the way that he actually presented just the problem, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's
The
like,
only other
where are the
problem I can
games?
see with it, the only other problem I can see with it is it being maybe like a huge flop. And that's one thing that kind of concerns me heading forward. Like he said, maybe in a couple of years, it's going to be perfect. But you're not
when
gonna
like
get
Google Fiber is more readily available, where like it can actually be good for everybody.
So let me get to famous Seamus's question.
Yeah, yes, please. Sorry.
Because you cut him off with that John Conti guy. Very beautiful words, best words, as some would say. Do you think PlayStation needs to step up their game with Google Stadia happening? So, as a PlayStation gamer, I'll go with you, Kyle. Do you feel like Google Stadia, Sony has to like? Do you feel like the pressure's on Sony?
In certain areas, yes.
Okay.
Especially where, in John's tweets, he said like power doesn't really mean much, but on paper, when Google Stadia came out and said it has whatever 11 teraflops, and you saw PlayStation 4 only at like
10.6.
Oh, I'm sorry, 10.6, and PlayStation 4 Pro is only at like 4 point something. To the average consumer, they're like, oh, PlayStation's got the least amount out of anybody up here. Why is that? Why should I get that if the other consoles are more powerful? Right. So I think that maybe PlayStation needs to look that way. I think with the cross-play thing, where Google Stadia had a huge moment on during the stream where like they can play with anybody. We're opening up for developers to allow it for any other console to play in between. That's huge. And PlayStation should be listening to that because they are now the very last ones.
Yeah.
So excluding some like games here and there. Like
absolutely. The ones that they handpick.
Yeah. Exactly.
So to kind of go off on that one. I think you're totally right. I think crossplay is a thing that Google had a moment on. Eric, what do you think when it comes to crossplay? Do you think like where are your thoughts on it? Because again, you're new here. I want to know your thoughts when it comes to crossplay. How important is it that Sony's the odd man out? There you go. That's a word I wanted to think of.
So, from obviously like a PlayStation user's standpoint, like I have a lot of friends that still have Xbox. So I mean, for me to be able to like actually play with in real life friends like that, it would be awesome. But like we said earlier, it's only some hand selected games that you can do that on.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to be able to do that with, I don't know, a Call of Duty or something like that.
But
just to be able to sit back and have fun.
The pressure is on Sony to now do crossplay? Like, do you think going forward, the next generation, people are going to choose other platforms because Sony doesn't have crossplay?
I don't necessarily think that Sony's in that much trouble with it because they've survived up until this point with it. And in fact, they've actually thrived being one of the only ones that don't necessarily do crossplay because they can rely on all of the games that they own exclusively.
Right, like God of War, Spider-Man.
Yeah, like God of War, Last of Us, Spider-Man, all of that. So all of their exclusives is really why I stick to PlayStation and don't venture out into anything else.
Yeah, that's where I stand too. Is like crossplay is nice. I would rather have cross progression. But like I'm on my ecosystem because I love it and I would love to play it with all my friends. Don't get me wrong, but like for me, I'm like I love God of War way too much to ever drop it for an Xbox. Right? Like same like Last of Us. You know, I can't drop that thing. Maybe when the BioShock.
Yeah, for me, The Last of Us was a game that really helped like save my life. Yeah. So I know that sounds over dramatic and stuff like that, but I don't know if you've like looked into my Twitter or anything like that. Or
I did a bit. Yeah.
Okay, so I do make videos on like mental health and stuff like that because I deal with depression, bipolar, anxiety, and when The Last of Us actually came out, that was like I was low, like very low. So just having a game like that actually have a story about hope it gave me hope, and it kind of like pulled me out of that rut. So
That's awesome, man. Yeah,
it has a very special place in my heart, and I
same here.
I can't give that up.
Same here. God of War is mine. It's the story about me and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Cory Barlog did it. He was peering in through a window. I don't know. Like all my life, he was Truman showing it. But like, no, dude, 100%. That's why I play PlayStation. But with that, I asked this question. I'm going to add some context to you. So we all agree Sony needs to do something, but it's not detrimental. They're not in the worst shape in the world, but they do need to do something. And my next question, before I ask it, is who is most prepared? But let me read into this quote. So after this announcement, everybody's kind of freaking out. Nintendo's stocks drop, Sony's stocks drop a little bit, and there's someone that comes out of the woodwork to speak on the behalf of their company. And it adds to a segment I like to call X Marks the Spot. Everybody get in your cars, foot to the pedal. Let's do this. Don't stop. Don't just every red light, just go for it. Don't even stop. Don't ever stop.
See, Eric, he does this sometimes, and I don't know how to stop it.
All right, pedestrian.
I'm just letting it go. I'm having fun with it.
So with that, we talk about Xbox on the show sometimes just to add more context to situations or what's going on. Because when we're talking about the next generation, we need to know where our enemies are, okay? Where their head's at. So Phil Spencer came out in an internal email to his employees and said this. We just wrapped up watching the Google announcement of Stadia as a team here at GDC. Their announcement was validation of the path we've embarked on 2 years ago. Today we saw a big tech competitor enter the gaming market and frame the necessary ingredients for success as content, community, and cloud. There were no big surprises in their announcement, although I was impressed by their leveraging of YouTube and the use of Google Assistant and the new Wi-Fi controller. But I want to get us back to this is weird. Phil, come on. Let me fill you in here. But I want to get back to us. There you go. That's my dyslexia. There has been really good work to get us to the position where we are, poised to compete for 2 billion gamers across the planet. Google went big today, and we have a couple of months until E3 when we will go big. We have to stay agile and continue to build with our customers at the center. We have the content, community, sure, cloud team, yeah, and strategy. And I've been saying for a while, it's about the execution. This is even more true today. Energizing times, Phil. What does that quote speak to you? Because I was talking to Luke Loy today, and he read this, I'm calling you out, Luke, as a sign of, is Microsoft scared? Like, are they trying to just reassure their team what's going on? I read this as, Phil knows what's up. He's ready to drop something big at E3. He says it's all about execution, and I agree. And so when I ask who is the most prepared to take on Google, it's Microsoft. They have the Azure servers. As much shit as we love to give Microsoft, we love to troll them every now and again. Their servers are the most powerful servers in the world at this very moment. So when it comes to who's poised to take on Google, it is Microsoft, and it is on execution because, look, today we're all talking about Stadia, and we're not, like, over the moon about it. Like, we're just like, cool. I don't know where it fits in.
I think we're more excited to see what everyone else is going to do in response.
Yeah. So with that, Kyle, Eric, I'll go to you. Who is the most prepared to take on Google? Or do you think we're fine? Don't worry about it.
I would say let's not really think about more like head-to-head competition because I think this is going to spark way more of that, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to sit back and just watch and just see what happens and wait to see what happens.
I like this.
I think this is going to be, in my opinion, one of the most exciting E3s of all time.
Oh, yeah.
You have to see now what Google's going to do. Mm-hmm. You have to worry about Microsoft, Sony, and then Nintendo.
Yeah.
So it's going to be huge.
Do you think that Google's going to go and enter E3? Or do you think they're going to do that?
I mean, if they plan on launching this sort of service this year,
yeah,
I think so. I think they're going to have to in order to generate the hype going into the launch.
By
They
them
did
going-
mention
Yeah.
we'll see in the summer. Like we'll have more to say in the summer.
Yeah. So do you think that's them saying we'll see at E3? Because to me, I don't.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's like no question.
Okay.
Because summer E3 is the biggest thing for gaming.
Yeah.
The next chance I think they get is like
Gamescom?
PAX East or something maybe.
PAX East is next week. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So you
PAX
have
West, I
that,
think, right?
then
I think
yeah,
so.
you'd have that, then
Yeah.
E3, and then
Yeah.
PAX and like Comic Con and all that.
Yep.
So okay.
I think they're gonna go all out for E3.
Okay.
They would be kind of dumb not to, if that makes sense.
Okay. Kyle,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think? Who's poised to take them on?
I would.
E3.
Oh, absolutely. I think Google is absolutely coming to E3.
Okay.
And part of me feels now, because we know Sony's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Part of me feels like Google is going to take Sony's spot on Monday.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
I think they're going to take it and be like, "Hey, look at all this stuff that that every other major company brought out in these press conferences. Now, here's what we can do. We can do all that and more potentially. I do feel like Microsoft is the most ready because in Phil's email that you just read, he said like that was kind of their vision 2 years ago when they're looking at the next console. And how I understood it was, it's more of just like validation that we made the right choice. Not too much that they were scared, probably a little weary just to see, because you saw what happened when Xbox One got announced, where they had this whole always online thing and the backlash. So I'm sure they kind of had a little bit of that. But now that they see Google, a major, probably the biggest in the world in tech, come out and follow what they were planning to do, I'm sure they're like big sigh of relief.
Yeah. I think at this point in time, I don't think we have to worry as Sony fans. I think day one, everybody was like blown away at this tech. Seeing the reactions though of a lot of people, Google does have a lot of work to do to win people over, and I don't think this is like a day one huge success. It could be. I mean, we're gonna see Google spin it like 60 million people have tried or whatever. Similar where we see with Game Pass. It's that spin of trying to make. And I'm not saying Game Pass is failure. I'm just saying, it's just them trying to show numbers to show numbers. But for me, I don't think anybody has anything to worry about. I think this is them targeting or trying to target a different market and seeing if there is something there. With that,
show me a game. Show me a game, and I'll get excited.
Show me a game I should be excited about.
Or like how the actual thing works itself. Like show me a demonstration rather than giving me just like little spark notes that you're reading off of a cue card.
Yeah. So for me, I'm still on. I'm excited. It's different. I just need to see it. Also, the download speeds from what I've seen, I think it's 25 up to get 1080p, 30 up to get 4K. So it still has a way to go, right? I
think this is going to be more on like the high end side of things because, like, consoles are for like. How am I trying to word this?
It's for more like city, right, or like suburbs.
Yeah, it's more convenient than going
where
out.
Space is an issue.
Yeah. So it's more convenient to buy a console than it is to like actually get, let's say, a gaming PC and then to invest in that high of a speed of internet.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Google's in this. It's awesome. We got a fourth person. I wonder if there's going to be a fifth or sixth. It's crazy times. And again, good luck, Google. I wish you the best of luck. I'm happy that that the roof isn't on fire at Sony. Yeah. I think they're all worried, don't get me wrong, of like, okay, where do we need to go? But I think everybody has their strength and everybody has their market that they're speaking to. So I don't think there's much to worry about. With that though, holy crap, we're heading into the 30-minute mark. So let's get to the next goober on the list.
Got it.
It's a little segment we love so much.
Rumor has it, Joe.
Rumor has it.
PS4 referenced an EA Access source code, adding fuel to the fire. This goober comes from Push Square, so go give him a click. I almost said lick. That would have been weird.
Yeah, give him a lick.
I mean, if you want, you can go give him a lick. I don't know how well that's going to work out for you, but I mean, go for it.
Yeah, whatever you're into.
it does seem like EA Access will release on the PlayStation 4 in the near future, as the service was recently spotted on the Brazilian PlayStation Store, and now references to Sony's console have been discovered on the subscription's website. While it's far from conclusive proof, when you consider that the publisher said recently it would be adding another platform to its lineup in the near future.
Dope. I forgot to do the time code, and that's why I was writing it.
No worries.
You had more to say. Eric chimes in, and he asks this important question. With Google Stadia, yeah, we're still on it, coming onto the market sometime in the future, do you believe Sony will have to make an attempt to improve PlayStation Now to the point of restructuring it to try to market it as as a new thing in order to directly compete with Stadia? I think...
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not in that good of a place at the moment.
No.
It's kind of just there.
It's kind of,
and they had a huge deal like when they unveiled the PlayStation 4. It's like, oh, we bought Gaikai, this huge streaming service that it's going to be the future of gaming, and then PlayStation Now is not that great. It's better than what it was.
Yeah,
but it's not.
They've been making improvements. I think exactly what's going to happen with it is they're going to make improvements to it, repackage it as something new, and then we got Ghost in the Class. Oh yeah. Ghost in the Class, who haunts these very hollow halls, asks this question, which you can do via following us on PS Trophy Room. You could give us a question there, or at the Casa de Badbit server, you could drop us questions there as well. And they ask, what are the ways you guys would improve PS Now? So, I think we've talked about this, but Eric, I know we personally haven't tried out PS Now, but I'll say this. What is the one deterrent from you from trying PS Now?
Yeah, personally, I haven't tried it either just because I don't see, like, the point. Mm-hmm. If, like, I've got all these current games and I still have a PlayStation 3 or even an Xbox for that matter, I can go play old games on it without, like, the lag and all that. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It just seems like there's no point. It just seems like it's there on the dashboard. You'll hover over it and then you're like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm actually going to go play the game that I want. Rather than
you have the same mentality I have, which is like, old game is old, I'm on to something else.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I want like the new stuff. Like if I want to go back on a nostalgia trip, I'll just go plug in my PS3.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to have to pay for a service for the same games that I have, sitting on my shelf, like right behind me.
So Kyle, what would be the way you improve PS Now? Again, I know we talked about it before, but Stadia wasn't around then. So now that we have some context.
I mean, the only thing I've tried it out with a couple of games years ago. One of them being Arkham City before we got the remaster or what was it? Return to Arkham.
Yeah.
Bundle. Before that, and Eric mentioned it. It's just the lag. It was real bad when I tried it.
It's really choppy too, from what I've seen.
Yeah, extremely. And if that gets improved, then I think it's fine. It's basically like it is a kindergarten version of Game Pass.
Oh, damn!
Where you have this huge library of games. Because PlayStation does have a huge library of games on PS Now, but it's just not up to snuff. Like you can't download the games. It's right. Maybe you can now. I forget. Was that an update?
You can. Yeah, you can download the games now.
So I mean, before when I tried it, you couldn't, and it was basically just streaming them, and it was not great.
Yeah, for me, here's what I would do to overhaul PS Now and to be competitive with Stadia, because again, at the end of the day, I think Google's main mistake with this thing is we don't know what it is and we don't know any of the pricing structures of this thing. We just know it's a thing that could play games and that's cool. So for me, I honest to God think if Stadia is this juggernaut, something we should be afraid of, Sony does have time to create something around PS Now where, listen, it's not going to be as good as whatever Google has to offer, or Microsoft, right? We just talked about it. Google has the second best servers in the world. Microsoft has the first best servers. Eric, what you were talking about before, they're a $735 billion company. So they got the infrastructure, they got the money to make these servers run. Sony, though they are also I think it's $60 billion company, nowhere near the amount of bank, the amount of capital to compete. So what I would say, Now, if I was Shu, a little personal one,
Ooh.
is I would just do one or two things. A, of course, improve the servers. That's like the obvious one everybody's going to say. We need to lower the price. $20 is way too much money. Or we make a PlayStation Plus like type of system in place where, listen, Stadia, for what we know, you're playing games online for free. With Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus, you need both of those. It's gated in order to play online. Make it worth it for people that don't play online. So what I suggest is bundling PlayStation Now with PlayStation Plus to make it so that there's a huge package here, a huge offer that you kind of can't pass up. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't have to do now games every month. You just have new games added every month to this huge vault that you already have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just make sure that PS1 is part of that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's dope.
That'd be nice.
What's the other goober?
PSVR wireless headset patent appears online. This comes from DualShockers. Sony has patented a new unit that appears to be completely wireless. Of course, the device will still need to be plugged into the PlayStation itself. However, that device will then oh my goodness.
You got this.
Wirelessly.
Thank you. I don't know why I can't say that word today. Send a signal to the headset, which frees up a lot of area for movement. It must be stated this is only a patent. Plenty of patents never come to fruition and are more or less just people exploring different ideas.
So is this just something? Do you think this is a thing, Kyle?
Oh, I think this is definitely a thing. And this makes me super excited.
I was going to say, if this thing comes out and it's the same exact specs, now you get to choose. Yep. You can have, or actually, you get, Shu must choose, Kyle. You can either get this headset that is wireless, or you could get a pair of headsets that's even more powerful than the PSVR ones you got right now, but it's wired. Which one would you pick, and why?
I'm going wireless.
Yeah,
I'm going because in my room where I'm at right now, over here to my left, there's not a lot of space, and having the wires just kind of like on the floor.
Yeah.
And like in the way, like my nieces come down and they trip over it all the time. Okay. So to have like a wireless thing where I don't have to worry about it and I can sit on my couch comfortably without having like the wires, all over the place. That is what excites me. It could be more powerful, great. But if I still can feel tethered to something, that kind of takes away from being transported into another world.
Okay. Eric, what about you, man? Have you tried VR yet, or?
No, I've seen just like a lot of videos on it, and it does seem interesting.
What's the thing stopping you? If you saw one that was wireless, would that pique your interest?
Really, the only thing that's stopping me is like the price of the actual like units itself, because you can go see an Oculus Rift, and they're like $400-$300 a pop or something like that.
Oculus now, yeah, I think they're like anywhere from the range of, I don't know, this isn't an Oculus show, 400 to 600 or something.
Somewhere in that ballpark, yeah.
So I think PSVR right now you could get it for about 200 to 300, depending on the sale. Yeah,
and that's already on top of, let's say, if you got the console on launch.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure the console was like $299 at launch or something like that.
Oh, at launch?
Like the initial, when the PS4 and the Xbox One first came out.
PlayStation
was $399.
Yeah, way back when.
$399.
So on top of that, it just seems like it's an overabundance in price.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will, real quick.
Yeah.
Did you see, I know you said it's not an Oculus show, but there was an Oculus thing at GDC where you could play Beat Saber.
Yep.
And it's completely wireless.
Yep.
And you don't even need a computer or anything to run the game. It's in the headset.
Yeah, but does it have a PlayStation emblem on it?
No.
Forget about it. No, this is dope. If it was me, I would definitely go wireless. I love PSVR. I've adopted it, and speaking of Beat Saber, I was playing the DLC. Oh my God.
I can't wait. I need to get it.
I streamed a little bit of it. I streamed the song Overkill, and I almost had a heart attack playing it on Expert. I don't know how I did it. People were like, Joe, breathe. I'm like, I don't know.
So you mentioned that you've like adopted it basically into like your like almost everyday gaming, right?
Yep.
Have you tried Resident Evil 7 with it?
I'm not gonna fuck with that, but I did put.
I mean that game is incredible without it. So like to be actually transported into that world, I think that shit my pants.
I will say part of the VR when you get like a bundle of demos, and one of the demos is actually the kitchen demo. Where
I put
Resident
my mom
Evil
through
7,
that. I put my mom through it.
I didn't last like 2 minutes in that. Like when you see the creepy little girl kind of peek her head around the corner, I said nope, and I flew it off my head.
This shit out
it was way too much. Way too much.
Yeah, no, I was a good son. I put my mom through that. I was gonna do it, so I'd let her be the guinea pig. I didn't tell her it was just called kitchen. She's like, "Oh, a kitchen? Why am I stuck in a chair?" And then it all started from there. With that, let's get to the next scooper. We're now on a roll. We're on a dang roll.
No Man's Sky latest update, titled Beyond, is coming in summer 2019. This also comes from DualShockers. Sean Murray tweeted, early this year, we were working on 3 future updates, but we wanted to interweave their features to create something much more impactful. Beyond will contain those 3 major updates rolled into one larger free release. Murray added how his team already mentioned in early 2019 that they were working on 3 new updates for the game. Beyond will be a merge of all of these 3 updates to create a more intense experience, all linked together. The first one is No Man's Sky Online, and the other 2's names are still classified information. Many No Man's Sky's players hope for one of these 2 updates to be a VR mode, but nothing has been revealed yet, and more info will be coming soon.
Does this excite you at all, or you just? I should have put this on Flash News, maybe. But
okay.
Yeah, no. For me, it's cool. I'm not getting back in the game, but I know so many other people that are super pumped, super excited.
Yeah.
To me, it's just really glad to see. I'm really glad to see that they're supporting this game for years now, and there's no microtransactions.
They took their lumps.
Yeah.
And they could have very easily just walked away from it and never touched it again. But they kind of learned from it, and from everyone that has hopped back into it, have told me that it's pretty great. Yeah. All the changes to it.
And it actually shows how much like passion developers had for the game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And even if they I don't play it, but if I were to, and if they had microtransactions, I would have no problem giving back to a developer that supports their game and actually has a passion for their game like they do.
Yeah, absolutely.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense. I mean, we're going to talk about Apex. The train even agrees with you. The train, that's
hey, I'm doing something right.
Exactly. The train conductor's like, I hear you, Eric. I hear you. But yeah, no, I
No Man's Sky, that's my shit.
I wish I was playing it right now. It's awesome to see them.
Train.
Yeah. Actually, I'm playing it right now. So
I hope not.
Yeah, and do your damn job, train conductor. But I'm really excited to see them continue to support this game after the insanely rough launch, them sticking with it and making something really special, and their fans are loving it. This is awesome. Congratulations, No Man's Sky. And now with that, on to the
I will jump in if one of those is VR, though.
Oh, would you jump in if it's VR?
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly?
Can I chime in a thought here, too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, like you guys mentioned, they could have just cut their losses and kind of abandoned the project.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with The Culling 2?
Oh, yes.
Did you read anything about that?
Oh,
yes.
God, yes.
So
it was like a week later, right?
No, it was like 3 or 4 days after they took it off the marketplace.
Yeah.
But at launch, it only had 1,000 unique players. And that's, to me, that's crazy for a game that's that hyped up. And then it's like they didn't even support it. They didn't do anything to bring people in. So
it's awesome to see that, there's developers out there that don't have that passion, don't have that love.
Exactly.
They want to jump on something like Battle Royale, and then and I know, guys, anybody that's yelling at me, I know the original Culling was one of the OGs, but seeing them trying to hop back onto the bandwagon, or back onto the hype train, and then it derails, and they just
they just completely abandoned the project.
Yeah, and just to see No Man's Sky hit the fan, and they kept on with it. So,
and I'm glad for their success now. I'm really happy for their success.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, keep going.
Kyle, on to the next Goober. This is going to be a long show, by the way.
I love it.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, I'm having a lot of fun. I just appreciate being on here. This is fun.
We're happy to have you. Bethesda will be returning to E3 this year. Doom Eternal confirmed to appear. This also comes from DualShockers. Man, they're working hard over there, Joe, at DualShockers.
Or I was just real lazy with the stories this week.
E3 2019 is starting to come more into view with publisher Bethesda Softworks today confirming that it will once again be present at the show and will again be holding a press conference. For the 5th consecutive year, #BE3 will be returning to show off more than of what Bethesda has in the pipeline in the coming months and years. Per usual, Bethesda will be holding its press event at E3 on Sunday night, which this year will fall on June 9th. The show is slated to then be streamed live around the world starting at 5:30 p.m. PST.
So last week we forgot to mention, because sometimes there's just so much EA crap, and I'm just like, not today, Satan. We're not going to talk about you. But they backed out of E3. They're like, and they've been backing out for a while now, but now they're fully out of the scene. Sony's out of E3. Is this reassuring to you that Bethesda, after even Fallout 76, is back in the scene? Is back going, you know what, we're heading into E3. What do you feel about it, Eric? What do you feel about Bethesda staying at E3? Are you liking it, or should you let old things die? Kill them if you have to.
I have a lot of things to say about it, but I'll keep that inside.
Okay.
Because they really pissed me off with 76.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Fallout fan. I've been following it basically since Fallout 2.
Was this like a stab in the back for you?
Yeah. It was just basically, hey, we're just going to get your money, and that's it. Like,
Here's
the whole debacle
assets.
with their, like, $200 or $300 collector's edition thing. Coming with that, like, cheap, like, plastic bag thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that was worth it was, like, the power armor helmet, apparently.
It's dope.
But the game itself just...
Did you get the power armor edition?
No, thank God. Thank God. I would have hated myself if I got that.
Oh, God. Probably someone's had sex with that helmet on. I just Like, call me Volt Boy. Call me Volt Boy.
Oh, jeez.
I'll let you enter my vault,
God damn it.
At Vault 69. Yeah, Eric, welcome to the show. This is what I'm
just imagining him, like, staring at his Pip-Boy, like...
Come on, I've got places to be.
So, okay. I'm sorry, I derailed this.
Going back to the
you were
question,
angry. Seeing them at E3, what do they need to do to gain your trust back?
Not make another Fallout for a while, that's for sure.
But there's rumors that there's one cooking.
I hope not. If they're gonna make anything positive with Fallout 76, they need to go all out with the next Fallout. They need new engines, updated graphics, everything. Like they need to revamp that whole series. In my opinion.
What if they come at this year's E3 and they finally give us a Fallout 3 remaster or remake?
Okay, Fallout, that would be fine. I would be okay with that. Even though I've already played that, years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
And as long as they're not charging obviously full price for it, because it is a remaster.
Yeah.
You give me Fallout 3, maybe even like a New Vegas remaster, even though they weren't the ones that made it, they just published it.
Yeah.
I would be okay with that.
Right.
I would actually have no problem buying like a $30 thing with that.
Yeah.
But if it's a whole new independent like IP Fallout base, I'm kind of skeptical about it. Even with like the Elder Scrolls series as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's now everything they do is met with skepticism.
Yeah. Because they've lost so many people's trust with 76 and just the lies and stuff. And
it was
the way
blatant.
that they
It was blatant.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel though like 76? Because this is great. You actually played the fucking game, and like I felt like there were so many people. It was like today's a new controversy, right? Like today is like, and then it's like the same. It was the one thing that kind of killed YouTube for me for a while was seeing the same angry people that obviously didn't play the game. They're just hyping up their audience, and they're saying the same exact thing over and over how broken this game is. I don't even know where I'm going with this rant. Was the temperature in the room really, was the anger really that justified? Where it was just
I would say yeah, especially if you're like diving into the collector's edition of it, because you're putting out $300 for like a product that for one you expect to get as advertised. because essentially what they sold you was a falsely advertised product.
Right.
Then on top of that, the main reason for buying the game in the first place is the game.
Yeah.
If there's no game to play, then it's like you just wasted your money on, I don't know, on nothing. On just sitting in an empty world with nobody.
To me, I saw this game as just an asset flip. I was just so disappointed to see that I was right.
How much did you actually play of it? Like,
I
how many hours
played,
did you put in?
I'm going to be real with you. I played about 3 to 5 hours, and I was just, after hour 1, I was just like, I need to leave. I need to get out. And I remember my friend Fiona, friend of the show, she's been a guest a few times, and she was just like, it's not, come on, Joe, please stay. I was like, Fiona, I can't. This is an abomination. Yeah.
From like a first-hand experience of it, I gave it about an hour and a half.
Oh.
About 45 minutes of that was load times or crashes or glitches of me like falling through the map or something like that.
Yeah.
And the other half was just me being bored. It was just roaming around this like essentially wasteland. No survivors, nothing. I barely even found a server where there was like a couple of people roaming around.
Yeah,
so,
and then like when we did find people, we couldn't. They would still kill us, but it was like the damage that we would receive was just more of an annoyance. Like it was just like attack, but like it was like a death by 1,000 needles. And then like they were just saying like all type of racial slurs, and it was just like, I don't know, man. I felt like I was at a Trump rally for a second, and they're like, they found me out. You know what I'm saying?
PUBG Fallout Edition.
Exactly. It was just like, wow. It was really nasty stuff. Real creepy.
Wasn't
stuff.
like I didn't even get a chance to fight anybody because I couldn't find anyone.
Oh, it's horrible.
Didn't you have to like initiate a fight with them?
Yep.
That's so stupid. If you're like, it doesn't even make sense. In a game where it's about surviving and about scavenging.
You know what? We've
You're gonna,
hey, here.
do you want to fight? Sorry, I told you. I was so angry.
I will to kind of get us back on track with the Bethesda back in E3. I'm actually really excited to see them back because I thought their showing last year was very, very piss poor. I do hope Andrew WK is back just to see the crowd not loving it because I love that. That was amazing. But like they had most of it was Fallout 76 and then basically like images for Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. I'm hoping this year we get to see some of the Wolfenstein projects, both the VR one and the one with the twin sisters. I hope we get to see that at this year's E3. Probably more Doom.
Youngblood, I think it's called. Yeah.
Youngblood. Thank you. The VR one, I think Cyber Pilot. And then fingers crossed. I'm not a huge Fallout fan myself. But if we see anything more to what Starfield is and what I hope it is, I think they'll crush it.
Okay. With that, I'm going to get to the Flash news, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
We're running real long in the tooth here. First things first, Days Gone will feature a photo mode at launch. Awesome. That's dope. Question for you, Eric. You played a lot of The Last of Us. You love Last of Us.
Yes, sir.
Where are you at with Days Gone? Is this a day one purchase, yay or nay?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Looks dope.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of zombie games. I always have been, always will be. I know they can get like drawn out, but just something seems like it's going to have a good story with this game. So,
awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
Ben Studios, you're killing it. We have a giveaway announcement soon about that. Wonder what it could be. Our next Flash Goober is, guess what? There's a new color Joy-Con. DualShock 4 controller. It's mint green. It's green on white. I like it, okay?
I wouldn't say mint. It's like a darker green.
Fine. I like it. God forbid I do. Because the internet doesn't like it. Oh,
the internet doesn't like it, really?
They don't like anything, man.
Yeah, well, fuck them.
You know what? Fuck it.
Oh, sorry, Tim Wolfson.
Oh, yeah, damn it, Kyle. You're supposed to be
I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be the one that's... Yeah. Whoops.
Tim Wolf saying that we've led his son down a path of darkness. We need to bring him back to the light. With that, let's bring him back to the light. With the next Goober. Kyle, may you read it? Can you read it? May you read it?
This comes from Forbes.
Yoda. Yeah.
Let's face it. Apex Legends Season 1 Battle Pass is bad. What now? After weeks of anticipation, Respawn Entertainment finally lifted the veil off of the Season 1 Battle Pass for Apex Legends, containing within 100 tiers of unlockable cosmetics that can be yours for one low price and a whole lot of grinding. When Fortnite does this, it's Christmas morning. The Battle Pass now comes replete with weird banana men, evolving skins, friendly pets, and a whole lot more. With Apex Legends, however, this big drop of cosmetics is less impressive.
I got a question for you. Now, Kyle, you're not into Apex. I don't want to spend too much time because we already talked about it at the beginning of the show.
Also, that was how Forbes wrote that.
Yeah,
that wasn't
really
me giving my own opinion.
unprofessional.
Yeah, I after I read that, I was like, wow, that was really what Forbes, how they wrote it? Okay, all right.
But yeah, let's talk about it. Apex Battle Pass sucks. Am I just the only one, Eric?
I haven't even seen. I knew it was rumored. I don't even know what it is.
Pretty much there's 100 levels. There's only really one cool skin. There's 3 different skins. Like they all have the same pattern. One's like Aztec themed. One's like a bland banana color. One's a bland orange color. It feels like it's there.
I can't search the web on Apple Watch.
All right, Siri, thanks for your input on the show.
She heard banana and just went wild.
Yeah.
Searching Pornhub for banana.
Exactly, right? Well, I'm leaving that
I'm
in
glad
there.
mine didn't go off, too. I'd look at my phone and just be like,
Never
okay.
happened.
AI's taking over now.
Jesus.
I'll just sit here and shut up. I'll let Siri talk to me.
But yeah, there's just 3 bland skins. Everything's kind of just meh. I don't know. Is it just me? I'm happy to give him money. Don't get me wrong.
Is it $9.99?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the $10 for the regular one. Then you can get the $25 one with 30 tiers or something like that. Just like Fortnite.
Got it.
You have to keep in mind though too that this is their first attempt at it.
That's true.
And I do like what they're doing. Basically, it's the Apex packs and a lot of weapon skins, which I appreciate. A lot of it in Fortnite seems like a lot of unnecessary stickers, if that makes sense.
Right,
so
emotes and stuff.
So I would rather have the weapon skins and maybe even more character skins than emotes like that. So I'm okay with it. Okay. Yeah, it's a letdown for it being the first time, but this is their first attempt at the Battle Pass. So just go with it. Have fun. Just have fun with it.
That's true, because you know what? I'll say this. I'm going to pull back on this. I think you make a really great point. Fortnite's, I think it was season 1 or season 2 Battle Pass, I think had 4 skins as well. I think maybe we're used to Epic just giving all this crap out. Yes.
Can you put
you should just went with 3, not 3
Don't say 4
skins.
skins. Don't say 4
Oh,
skins.
no.
They had 3 4 skins in their Battle Pass. That was the tier 100 reward.
I'm glad, Eric, that we both got that.
You're just a walking foreskin. Your pickaxe. There you go.
Not 1, not 2.
I like how we were
3.
supposed to bring them back to the light. Now we're talking about foreskins in Fortnite. Awesome. That was a good transition.
No.
Great transition.
What have we done? I'm done. On to the next Cooper. I'm done right now, you guys.
Oh, man. Lucasfilm Games.
I didn't mean that, guys.
No, I know what you meant, but it was...
That's fucking funny.
Oh, that was great. Lucasfilm Games has been unexpectedly resurrected by Disney. This comes from PC Gamer.
Never mind. Just go.
You're composed.
Yeah.
Disney appears to have resurrected Lucasfilm Games. You'll probably be more familiar with the successor, the greatly missed LucasArts, which developed and published countless games both in and outside the Star Wars universe until it was closed in 2013. While LucasArts was responsible for everything from Monkey Island as a developer to Knights of the Old Republic as a publisher, don't get your hopes up about a wave of new games appearing. Job listings posted on the Disney Careers website suggest that it will support games using Lucasfilm's IPs, including Star Wars, rather than developing them itself.
I forgot to mention this. This is a new segment called... I used to agree that PC culture was ruining our modern society until I realized they didn't mean personal computers. Because this is the first time we've ever mentioned PC Gamer ever. I believe they were one of the first that broke this news story. So, this goes along with this story as of late that Disney is not happy with the way that EA has been handling the Star Wars IP, and they're not happy with the way Star Wars IP has been handled just by LucasArts in general, and they want a change in direction.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think this is? Is this them going back to basics, going, we're going to make stuff in-house? Or is this taking the Marvel approach where they're licensing things out to other people? What do you think this is? Or do you think they're going to just stay with EA, but make sure that they have a more grounded, more to the story, or to the Star Wars lore? You know,
part of me is imagining Lucasfilm's games coming back as they see what's been going on with Star Wars with EA, and they're like, give us back our child. And they're preparing themselves for whenever the contract is done. Yeah. And then they take them back, and then they'll start making their own Star Wars stuff. Or like you said, a Marvel approach, and kind of like distribute to developers that will make the most sense.
Okay.
And let's not forget the past couple of years, there have been, like 2 or 3 actual Star Wars story-based games that have been canceled.
Yeah.
I think like Visceral Games.
Don't remind me. Don't trigger this.
And that was heartbreaking. Yeah, that was heartbreaking for me because I was a Dead Space fan. Oh, and I'm pretty. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I think EA ruined the series, and if they really want to get Star Wars like games back to where they were, back on the PS2 and all of that, like, they need, in my opinion, to reboot the series with a well-rounded story game.
Yeah, so first and foremost, everybody that works at EA, love you. You guys and gals do great work. But the way that this game has been managed by the upper echelon, it's been really piss poor. And I think this is the beginning of Disney reevaluating their IP and going, okay, listen, we've kind of mismanaged Star Wars a little bit. We need to kind of go back to basics. So we're going to take what we've seen from Marvel that works, and we're going to do maybe some in-house stuff, maybe some smaller things like a card game or whatever, like a mobile thing. But at the same exact time, I would love to see them go to Ubisoft, go to Massive, and just go, hey man, we really like The Division. Could you make a Clone Wars Division game? But you're dude, how awesome! Holy shit, you're in Coruscant, or you're in I don't know, like you're in Mont Calamari's town, and you're just wrecking shop, dude. That would be dope. Like, just imagine all the places that they can just tap and just go, hey, we want to make a Star Wars game with you. What can you do for us? Right?
Absolutely.
Go to Sony and go, hey, here's Indiana Jones, but for real this time. Or even go into Microsoft going, hey, here's Indiana Jones. You want a Nathan Drake? You got Is that good?
That's a good point.
Like,
awesome. It's going back to what we were talking about with the No Man's Sky thing. Like, obviously Disney, they have a passion for Star Wars. Like, it's to make money, but it's also a passion of theirs. Whereas EA just looks at it from the monetary gain. And don't get me wrong, I love what DICE did with Battlefront and Battlefront 2. The gameplay is amazing.
Yeah. So
no knocks on DICE, but it's the way that EA has managed to take the passion out of that like fan base. So I think,
I think it only doesn't, and I don't want to get too far off the Star Wars Lucasfilm stuff, but you see that with Anthem. You can see EA's fingerprints all over it, and like sucking the passion out of BioWare, for me, at least.
That's what she said. I still got one this game.
They did the same thing with Mass Effect Andromeda too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Huge Mass Effect fan.
Sorry for the pregnant pause.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, dude. Rip to all the fallen EA studios.
It'll come back. It'll come back.
Yeah, I hope.
I hope so.
All right, everybody. I need you to do me a huge favor. Hang on to something. Hang on to something, damn it.
Prepare the drop. Each and every week, Sony announces the latest and greatest games landing on the PlayStation platform. But there's so many good games out there, we can only pick one each. So with that said, Kyle, what is your pick for the drop?
Mine is very obvious. It's American Ninja War. No, it's not. It's The Messenger, which is also pretty obvious coming from me. You've heard me talk about it many times, but in case you don't know what it is, as a demon army besieges his village, a young ninja ventures through a cursed world to deliver a scroll paramount to his clan's survival. What begins as a classic action platformer soon unravels into an expansive time-traveling adventure full of thrills, surprises, and humor. Now, this is already on Switch. It's making its PlayStation debut. It's a beautiful 8-bit style, and then when you jump through some portals, it switches to 16-bit. And the art style changes, the music changes. Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. The shopkeeper is really funny. The gameplay is tough, but it's rewarding. I love it. You need to play The Messenger.
Okay.
Sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Eric, I forgot to tell you, we do this thing called the drop.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you suggest that comes to mind?
Really? I mean, we talked about it earlier. For me, it's still Apex.
I got you.
And
Get
even
that
with the Battle Pass coming out, with it being kind of underwhelming, I still feel like with the addition of the new character, Octane, it just adds like a whole new dynamic. The more you introduce more characters, obviously the whole makeup of the game is going to switch.
Hey, going
because you have
back
all
to
these
Apex
different guys
in the Battle Pass, would it have just been better to add this new character to the Battle Pass?
I don't think so.
No?
Because then now, instead of locking it behind a paywall, it's actually available for everybody that plays the game.
You're definitely
if you wanna,
right.
Yeah, if you want to buy skins for them, then sure, you can support the developer.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have locked it behind
It's not.
the Battle
You know
Pass.
what?
Yeah.
Eric, you're a genius. I like it. I agree with this. Now,
my
Joseph's
best.
obvious pick, and here's where we get to this giveaway nonsense. Because honest to God, I know I've created this giveaway and I can control it, and I could take it away just like how I brought it into this world.
Okay, Thanos.
Yeah.
Just no
My
more
obvious
giveaway.
pick. is
Mr.
Sekiro.
Badbit, I don't feel so good.
Oh no, no. We gotta unsnap it.
Rest in peace, my boy Spider-Man. Spoiler.
Rip. Joe's obvious pick, me, I just read the notes. Now I sound like Richard Nixon. Is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
You are the one-armed wolf, a disgraced and disfigured warrior, bound to protect a young lord. You become the target of many vicious enemies. When a young lord is captured, nothing will stop you to regain your honor. Not even death itself.
So again, From Software, this is a game I've been anticipating because From Software makes some of the best games. Hey, maybe even the game of the generation. That is Bloodborne, the Dark Souls series, Demon Souls. I love Armored Core. I love Tenchu, From Software. And Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a game that, oh my god, tomorrow I'm going to get my hands out of you guys. I'm freaking out. And in order to celebrate, I did this little giveaway. I was like, you just like and you retweet. Okay? You just like, that's all you needed to do, but I'm upset tonight. Because I got a new segment for you. Timoff's son, cover your ears. We're not talking about the own thing. Now your dad's going to have a conversation about you with. No.
Let's talk about the birds and the bees.
There's been some fuckery afoot. And I want to get down to the bottom of it. So today, I'm doing one more project for this class. I'm like, it's down to the wire. Like, after I get done uploading this, I'll be up until like 6 in the morning writing this thing to get it done. So I haven't had time to gather all the names to do the giveaway. So I let it up to my brother. I go, Dan, you have a task. You're unemployed. You have nothing going on in your life. Nothing. All right, you're a loser. So here, you need to get the list of names of people who follow the show, who have liked, who retweeted it. And he did. He did everyone. But here's the problem. When I do giveaways, well, let me tell you, us Morans in this household, we got a lot of stamina. Got a lot of it.
Boy.
Andy knows it from Andy Snail Mail. But anyway, nonetheless, so I go out there. I'm sorry, my brother goes out there. He gets all the names. I then go out there and I make sure that none of them are bots. So because transparency and honesty is our key, if I see a name of someone who the last 10, like I'm serious, like the last 10 posts are just all retweet giveaways, you're a bot, or at least I assume it, and you're just not counted. So I made sure that there was no bots because the first time I ever gave away Overwatch, it was to a bot that lived in Bolivia, and I felt like an idiot afterwards. A dumb idiot. So I made sure we narrowed the list down to people that actually watch and listen to the show. It got me excited. Bam. I plugged it in. What's the first name that enters? Sean Capri of the Xbox Drive. And I'm like, no, that son of a bitch doesn't get to win. I'm sorry, Sean, you don't get to win. You got it for free already because, Xbox Canada, you've made the blood sacrifice to them. So no. So I'm like, okay, well, my brother, he messed up a little bit. Whatever. Let's get to Luke Loy. I'll plug Luke Loy's name in there. Not plugged. I rolled the number generator again.
Yeah.
Luke Loy's name lands. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. It got the hosts of the Xbox Drive and not the people that fucking mattered. So I plugged in the numbers again. And I'm like, damn, you had one damn job. And then it hits to Riboflavins, who is a man who's been campaigning for this with this hashtag rigged. In our community, every time we do a giveaway or a guru does a giveaway or Sean does a giveaway, everybody hits him with hashtag rigged, or Joe After Work does it. It's everybody rigs it. And now I think this has been rigged. And I think there's been a hashtag rigged for Ribo. We need to get to the bottom of this because there's been some Russian collusion, some Russian fuckery, and I'm not going to stand for it anymore. But in all honesty, congratulations, Ribo. This man, give him a round of applause. He's helped this community way more times than I can ever count, and not just my community, but communities across the internet. He does God's gift. He does God's work, and he is God's gift to everyone. Shu's gift to everyone. He does so much good. Again, like my streams wouldn't exist if it wasn't for him. Guru's streams wouldn't happen. Joe After Work. He's a mod like everywhere. So congratulations, Ribo. When I saw your name, I was relieved because it wasn't Sean or Luke's. And again, I blame my brother, but I did look at the list and I didn't even think anything of it. So whatever. Just we'll blame hashtag Dan. Hashtag Dan rigged it.
I mean, good for him. It sounds like he deserves it. So good for him. I hope he enjoys it.
He definitely does. And with that, if you're a little butthurt about losing, that's fine. It's fine because guess what? Starting next week when we go to PAX, I'm going to announce a giveaway. We're going to do Days Gone. Oh, yeah, we're going to do it. Yeah, we have a Days Gone giveaway. It'll be our last big giveaway of the foreseeable future, and it's a copy of Days Gone. So if you like Days Gone, you want Days Gone, there's some ways to win. You like and retweet the pinned tweet when I put it up. You follow PS Trophy Room on Twitter. Or you can rate us 5 stars on iTunes and you post a picture of your review on Casa de Badbit or PS Trophy Room. The reason why you need to send me a photo is if you live in another country, I can't see your iTunes review. But it has to be 5 stars, no 1 stars, okay? Come on. What is this? Communist Russia?
I mean, hey, sounds pretty easy. I mean, it's simple, really.
It's so simple, even a ton of bots can do it. With that, here comes Andrew House's snail mail. Now, let me just get a water because this is going to be a lot.
Oh, boy.
This is going to be a rant from me. And
okay.
I'll just sit back and relax and listen.
Now, Eric, usually we have a funny joke for Andrew House's snail mail. I'll talk about going into his house, stealing his licorice.
Did he finally, send that restraining order?
No, I was going to do a joke, but we have a really serious question that follows.
Okay.
So I was just like, nah, I don't want it. So I sent Andrew House a carrier. Again, it was a young man leotard with a pigeon. He was running with the pigeon. Didn't make any sense. He goes, "Hello, Andrew House. There's a pigeon right here." And then he's just like, takes the pigeon, opens it. It's actually like a lockbox. Very weird. I know. I'm a little kooky. And then he takes the picture out, and it's just me, and it's just like, or letter, not picture. And it's like, there's a truce today. It's armistice, if you will. I'll see you next week, you dumb fucking idiot. and then poof, it just disappears. So with that, Famous Seamus writes in again for the second time in this show. Now, Famous Seamus has kept us real over the last few weeks, and I appreciate all of his questions. And you know what? We have this thing of sometimes real life stuff happens, and you listen to podcasts to escape that bullshit and to escape the world. But sometimes the world hits you in ways where you need to respond to those types of things. And we've done this in the past with with the shooting in
New Zealand?
Rockland.
Oh,
And now we're going to do it here for the one in New Zealand. So Seamus writes in, if you guys don't feel comfortable answering this question, you don't have to answer it, but we will. In light of recent world events, do you think gaming as a whole, including game makers, gamers themselves, and gaming content creators, need to take a stronger stance against the disturbing rise of bigotry in the world? So with that, if you all don't know, there was a massacre in New Zealand that cost the lives. I believe the city was called Christchurch, New Zealand. An evil psychopath killed 49 people in a mosque in Christchurch, New Zealand. I
think it's actually more now. Now that like the articles came out and like the reports came out, like the actual death toll itself rose, and that's still absolutely
bonkers.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
When I heard the news, it was questionably around 50. I heard 49 and fuck. And with that, it hit me really hard because though it's it's across the world, it's still innocent people. And my brothers told me the story of like one person heard someone welcome the shooter, like, welcome, brother. And then the man started opening fire. And
that's fucked.
It's disturbing. And the allegation of, because he live streamed it like a fucking asshole. I mean, you're already a piece of shit for doing it in the first place, but like it just makes me sick. Like there's no words. It's just like gross. It's just gross.
It's vile, really. It's like scum of the earth.
Yeah, and so when you hear this news, your heart breaks. And so first and foremost, our hearts weep for you, everyone in New Zealand, anyone affected, anybody affected by gun violence in general. It's disgusting. And there's allegations, again, I didn't watch the live stream because I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
And,
please do not
share it. Don't do fucking anything. You see
it. The only thing you do is report it. That's all you can do.
Apparently this guy said subscribe to PewDiePie, and then he started opening fire.
Yeah, that was also in his manifesto, I believe, as well.
So here's the deal. I'm going to be real with you all for a second. There's been a rise with just this hate, this white supremacist hatred towards others, and just this polarization of everyone on the world stage. It's not just video games, it's everywhere. And the one thing that I need to say to you all, first and foremost, is if there is someone in your life that you love, tell them. Hug them, tell them how much they mean to you, tell them how much you love them, because that's the most important thing to do. We have so much love in the world, but we're always seemingly so scared to share it. We're so scared to put ourselves out there to be vulnerable. Let yourself be vulnerable. Let yourself love, because there's too many times where we spread vitriol and we spread hatred, and instead we should be spreading that love and that positivity. So do that for me. Again, as well, when it comes to this act of violence, make sure your congresswomen, your senators are aware of how you feel about gun violence and about the readily available nature of being able to get guns. Gun loopholes in several states are insane, especially ones that have a lot of mass shootings. I'm looking at you, Florida. Holy shit. Just go out there, reach out, get educated on the matter, and let your voice be heard. last but not leastly, and Eric, you don't have to chime in. Kyle, don't chime in on this one. This one's just for me. This one's my bad bit rant of the night. When it comes to being a YouTuber, being anybody, if you have an audience of any size, you have one person that follows you, 1 million people following you, 89 million people following you, you have an obligation to make sure that your audience is the audience you want. I'm not saying I'm not going to sit here and read PewDiePie's mind and tell you if he's a white supremacist or not. But what his audience, the subsect of his audience, seems to be people that want to just troll, that are just assholes, that are just white supremacists. And it's very easy to be a YouTuber and just let it happen and not call that audience away from you by saying you're not fucking welcome here. So first and foremost, if there's a white supremacist out there, I don't know if you're watching, I'm Hispanic, so you're fucking up the wrong tree, my friend. Secondly, I don't fucking want you here, and you're not welcomed. You're never welcomed. Your ideas are dead and gone, and you're disgusting, and you're vile, and you're not welcomed anywhere. Anywhere. Get the fuck out of here. If you're willing to love and to embrace that, awesome. And then the next thing, because you get very political here. My president's a racist. Just here to say it, because it needs to be said. He's a racist, and I don't fucking like him. But if you voted for him, and if you do like him, it doesn't mean you're an asshole. It just means you're a little bit uninformed. We can help you there. There are so many people that are doing really great things that are calling out white supremacists, and this motherfucker is doing nothing and sitting on his hands. Fuck that guy, but I love you all.
Well said, buddy.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so, and I love you. I'm angry because I hate seeing hate. Like, I hate seeing this. But man, it needs to be said. Mm-hmm. So many people are just afraid to take just even the simplest steps. Now you know how I feel on everything. So if you just didn't like any of what I just said, yeah, it's fine. Goodbye. Maybe next time. I don't know. Be a better person. With that, I don't want to end on that note, though. I want to bring it back up with a question. Are you ready for this, guys?
I'm ready.
Shoot.
Ooh, I cracked my elbows there.
I heard that.
Luke Lore writes in, probably everybody else did, it's cool. Luke Lore writes in, that's right, we're ending with you, Luke, because again, I do not want to end it on that note. Don't. Let's end it with video games. It looks like Nintendo and Microsoft continue to play well together. Quote, with our good friends from Microsoft, unquote. With Cuphead, does this change how Sony should negotiate its launch into the next gen? So, what Luke Lore is stating, or what he's asking is, recently we just saw Cuphead land on the Switch.
Which was crazy.
Not
expecting it.
It was nuts. I was in school, and I was just freaking out. Have you ever played Cuphead, or are you interested in it whatsoever, Eric?
I've watched through it myself. Cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yeah. I'm excited to play it myself because I own a Switch.
It's dope. It's so good at it's so balls to the wall, hard and frustrating. But it's so awesome to see Microsoft break through these barriers and just go like, we're here, gang. We're here. We want to hit every platform. And I've seen some people be negative about this, going, why do we buy an Xbox now? Why should we? But Cuphead is integrating Xbox Live on the Nintendo platform. So is there a bigger picture here that we're not understanding? I'm going to start with you, Kyle. Do you think there's a bigger picture here? Is it okay for Xbox to just put their game out on anything?
Is it okay? Yeah. I guess there's no precedent. This is uncharted territories. Like I don't know how to.
Are they like becoming a third party publisher type of deal, or like?
I don't think so. I just think that Microsoft and Nintendo are looking at each other, and they can see how they can benefit. Mm-hmm. Oh man, here's
complement each other.
Yeah, I was gonna say here's your other. That's what she said. They can fill each other's holes.
Oh, yes!
in a way.
Talking about foreskin and filling holes. I like this.
Now that's a game I want to play.
Yeah,
There you
right?
go. Yeah, and so I just think there's a mutual thing that they can both benefit from by doing this. I always felt like Nintendo is the third kind of all by itself.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much like Microsoft and Sony like butting heads. So it's very cool. I think it's very cool that Microsoft is kind of like buddied with Nintendo.
Yeah. I think this is dope. I didn't see the criticism. I don't see why people should be upset about it. Eric, what do you think? Is this dope? Is this cool? Do you own a Switch? Are you...
I do not. I do not.
You need to.
I should, but I don't.
Yeah.
Well, here, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think they're so like buddy with Nintendo because of just kind of the poor sales overall of the Xbox One versus the PlayStation 4? Do you think that's a way to like get back at Sony in a
Like
way?
a goodwill thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, because now they're branching into the Nintendo market, so maybe they can pull some of Nintendo's fans out. Or do you think it's just to overall spread their games?
I want to say, Luke Lore, you're discussing for bringing an Xbox question on the show, but I don't do a podcast in my car, so I can't speak for Xbox in a whole, but I will say this. I think this is Xbox trying to give out goodwill more than anything. It's not that like their system sold like crap, because it didn't. It sold good. It just didn't sell PlayStation good, right?
What's it, 360?
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't on like their 360 level.
Exactly.
Because that
It wasn't
was
like
that
a
was absurd.
blockbuster, right? It didn't. Yeah. So I think this is Microsoft saying, "Hey, we're here. And we're making really big strides. We're doing things different. We're changing the way you look at us and how we look at video games, and how you're going to look at publishers like us in the future." I think that's what it really is.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It gives me hope that with Cuphead now on the Switch, maybe Ori's next, and I can finally play Ori.
That's what I'm waiting for, because I have Cuphead, so I don't have the urge to jump in. But I would love to play Ori, and just not on an Xbox, because I just don't prefer it. All right, stop yelling at me. I don't hate it. I just don't prefer it. It's not gonna.
So here's another question for you guys as well. Do you think going into the PS5 or whatever their next PlayStation is, because it seems like every year they go in numerical order, so obviously that would be the first choice. Do you think they're going to go with Switch platforms as well? Do you think they're going to like start pushing out some of their games maybe to test the waters of it? Because I don't see like a Last of Us or an Uncharted going to a Switch.
No,
maybe like the lower tier of like PlayStation exclusives.
No.
But
Well,
I
I'm
don't see, like,
trying to
the big
think of like
blockbusters.
I'm trying to think of some like lower.
Like
I don't want to say
medium
quality,
molecule?
but like,
I won't say
like
that.
smaller titles that are only on PlayStation that could come over. Dreams is actually a good call,
because it fits.
or
It's that
Tearaway.
creativeness. It's not lower tier. It's just that creative, like childlike innocence
Wonder.
that they're getting.
Yeah.
Wonder.
Do you think Horizon Zero Dawn would be a good fit on the Switch?
I'd love that.
Yeah,
I'd
that'd
love
be
that.
great.
So
That'd be
maybe
cool.
that's
Give
like
me-
the first game that they can really test the waters with
Give
it.
me
See,
trophy
like,
support. That's what I want.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
can agree
even
with
if it's something just like, hey, you can play games on your Switch and you can earn trophies in them. Yes, give that to me.
Dope.
That's all I want.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, that's been the trophy room for this night. We said a lot of crazy stuff, called a lot of people names, but I felt good.
A lot of jokes.
A lot of jokes. It's always
lot of
always fun.
jokes.
I've made this analogy before, right? We have the sister podcast, the Xbox Drive, and they don't pay us for the amount of sponsors that we just throw their way, and they should. But I love them, and that's why we give them so many shout outs. And I always say that's the podcast you bring to meet the family, right? Like, you get Senator Lauren there. He's shaking hands. He's like, hello. My name's Luke. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's my wife, Michelle. And he rips off the mask. It's Barack Obama.
Wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
So when the fuck did Obama walk into the...
I've been a PlayStation fan for years. It's a podcast made by the players for the players. Sasha and Malia love it. But then, like, we're the podcast you take to bed, right? It's like, let's get down. You know what I'm saying? Wow, chicka, bow, wow. With all that said, with all that out of the way, let's get to the plugs, shall we? Kyle, let's first start with you, good sir. What do you have to plug, sir?
Sure. As always, I'll plug myself. Who Dat Ninja 73 on Twitter and on PSN. So send me those friend requests. Love to play with you, or just basically compare trophies with you. You can find my show all about the kind of funny community at BFS Talk Funny. The show is called Best Friends Talk Funny, where I have a best friend on and just highlight why the community is so awesome. I have a episode that went live this week with Steven Fontana of Nintendo Dual Screens. It's fantastic.
Ooh.
I recorded with the infamous Pixel Brave, which will be coming out next week.
Ooh.
And also, like Joe mentioned earlier in the show, me and Joe will be at PAX East next week. So come say hi, hang out. You know,
I'm jealous.
We'll probably just be at the Days Gone booth for most of the day, or most of the entire week. Maybe take a break to go see Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. And I love you.
Yeah, I love you too. I love you too, buddy. Eric, would you kindly, Eric?
I love it. I love it already.
Would you like to plug yourself there, buddy?
Sure. If you guys are interested in like BioShock content, maybe just like everything about the game itself, the whole series, you can check me out either on Twitter or YouTube. Wow, that was weird.
Your series on acting up.
Yep.
I said it with the watch on.
Creepy as shit. Let's just throw that on the bed there. Everything is the BioShockHub. It's on Twitter, Twitch, as well as YouTube if you guys are interested. And also, if you just want to hang out on PlayStation or something, my PSN is Mr. Gunstreak, as Siri is talking in the background. So MRGUNSTREAK.
And as always, you can find this podcast on youtube.com at Bad Bit Games. You can follow the show on iTunes. Please rate us 5 stars. It would mean so much to me. Or anywhere you find an RSS feed service. We got Overcast, we got Spotify, we got Podbean, we got SoundCloud, Google Play. Wherever there's an RSS feed, guys, go and gals, follow us. And with that, I have one more thing to plug. One more announcement. Guys, gang, ladies.
Oh, is it what I think it is, Joe?
Yeah, people of all ages, of all shapes and sizes. I'm here to announce and finally get off my chest a new podcast, a new limited run podcast I'm working on called People Play Games. And the whole point is about lifting the curtain to see what's behind when we talk about people who play and make games. Because oftentimes, we're looking at a screen, we're yelling at someone, we're blaming lag, we're telling a developer how to do their jobs, and we oftentimes forget that there's people behind those screens. There's people that make those games, and there's people that play those games. So what People Play Games is all about is me shining a light on the awesome, diverse people out there making a difference in the gaming industry. Whether you're a part of the LGBT crew, whether you're a black gamer, Hispanic gamer, whether you're a disabled gamer, whether you're a single father, whether you are a writer like we have Adam Bankhurst on the show talking about how they made it to IGN. We want to talk to you. We have our first episode from Caitlin from Your Geeky Gal Pal that should be premiering sometime next week. She's awesome. They're awesome. They're amazing. And it's all about being a queer gamer and what that has impacted their life going forward and how that's impacted their gameplay as well. It's an amazing show. It's a lot to learn. And it's me asking questions that maybe you're too afraid to ask other people because you're afraid of looking dumb. And so with that, I'm here to ask the stupid questions so that you don't have to. So again, People Play Games. Check it out. Next week, we'll have the first episode. But follow Mr. Badbit, follow PS Trophy Room to get updated on those things. And so with all that said, and with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you. Keep playing PlayStation. I screwed up all the outros, but I love you. Bye.
It's fine. It works.
Hey, just spread the positivity.
Spread the positivity.
There you go.
Keep playing PlayStation.